Hey, Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome to the Tourism Ramp. No, we're playing Civ 6, and we are also playing the Urban Complexity mod by JNR, which you can find a link to in the description of this video. Most of what we're doing is kind of settled in stone. We've kind of finished a lot of our planning. Now, there's still going to be some planning and adjustment that we need to do as we progress along the game. So this trade route, now something I wanted to find out is if this trade route could hit all 3 civs in the game on this continent, and it looks like it can quite easily. So I think this is going to be an entrepot city where I station 3 trade routes to get my tourism bonus from trade routes over here. So let's start trading with the Inca. Let's go by Inca, and there's a trade route here. Machu is worth 14 gold thanks to a whole bunch of cool things. So I think I'll take the 14 gold from Machu. There are other yields available, but the gold is like the big one. Gold is worth a lot. Gold is worth a lot. And I'll want 2 more trade routes in Kapiti. Oh, do I want a research alliance with the Inca? Yeah, I'll take a research alliance. It'll sort of cement our relationship and start building it up. Oh dear. All right, we found a lot of noise down here. We want this city-state to develop, but I don't know if I want to spend the money on that just to develop it. I'd rather maybe a different out. I'm kind of tempted to settle here, but that doesn't leave a lot of like land tiles for this city. I mean, it does get me 2 luxuries if I settle here. So I'll just take this deal. And we will, of course, coastal cities, harbor first, always. The harbor is just too good, especially when you're playing Maori, especially in this modded game. It's too good not to get. Now, I will pop a Nazca line here because that will boost these 2 tiles. That's a little bit of a boost since I'm not really worth it to work that desert tile. So the old boost of Reno is worth it. I would say our main goal this episode is to get to conservation, and it's going to be like the main focus that we're going to be working on. Anything beyond that, I'm not terribly concerned with. I do have 800 gold in the bank, and I think I was going to use some of this over here in Tamutu to see if I could make this city work a little bit better for me. We are working... I feel like this deer tile with the 5 production is way worth it to work, considering it takes 20 turns off of that. We'll rework this a little bit. Yeah, I think down to 57 turns is a reasonable number. As the city grows more, we might be able to get that number even lower. But for now, that's good progress on St. Basil's. So the only question I have here, if I'm going for an entrepot as well, I probably only get 2 entrepots this game. If I'm going for one over here, is that going to mean I can hit all 3 of these civs? I will assume for now that that's a yes, but I'm not going to build it until I test that hypothesis. I'm kind of excited for this Maori to finish. It should mean that I'll have really, really good yields in my capital, which I'm excited about. God, anything that culture bombs is just amazing. I love culture bombs in this game. They're so much fun to use. It's so much fun when they happen. That's something I really appreciate about this game, is that they have just like really, really good, solid, fundamental game mechanics that are really satisfying to use. Like culture bombs and all that sort of stuff. It really feels like that they've really nailed the kind of feel. So you want to buy my diamonds for 10 gold per turn? I'll sell those diamonds. Petra. Nice, there is the Petra. We have worked on this Petra for, I think, 2 episodes now. It's finally finished. Plus 2 food, plus 2 gold, plus 1 production on all desert tiles for this city. Must be built on a non-desert tile, or a non-floodplain desert tile. We get 4 era score for finishing our unique building as well. And now all of these tasty desert tiles are better. And now these are workable tiles if I so choose. I'm going to tell the city to prioritize food and production. I'm going to use, this city, I'm going to use my gold here just to scoot this city along, buy a granary, which will give me a little bit of housing, which was a bit of a problem. I want to place another district of some kind, but I also want to be ready for Ruhr Valley. And in order to get Ruhr Valley, I'll probably need to build my industrial zone. So what are we doing here? Well, I think I'm definitely, before I make any more decisions, I'm definitely going to evangelize my religion again, so I'll get myself an apostle. And I should also look into making a relationship with Valletta in order to be able to faith purchase walls, because that would save me a lot of production and I wouldn't actually need to plug in the walls card. In particular, that would be super useful for some of the newer cities that I plan to settle. I'll be able to just settle a few cities and throw up walls. And speaking of settling cities, is it time to continue building infrastructure in my capital? I think I'm going to focus on this here right now. So we have a lot of options. I think the big focus for me right now is to get my culture up, and there's not really a whole lot I can do to maximize my culture in this span of time. Really, sort of increasing your culture is like a long-term thing. You can't really like boost your culture short-term. any sort of culture change or growth is typically going to play out over a long period of time. But the nice thing is actually, apparently the Maori now applies to reefs, which is amazing. And I'm a super huge giga fan of that. Really, really glad that that's the mechanic now. I could build my harbour to get a trade route. I could go for the stupa and the hospitium, which would give me a ton of faith. I don't think I need the preserve. I don't think I need an industrial zone. Having a very urbanized capital appeals to me, but I'm running up into sort of housing limits as we speak. So the cabinet is 3 culture, 1 amenity, 2 citizen slots, a great artist point and 2 great artist points and a great writer point and 2 great work slots, as well as +2 for citizen yields. Now the current citizen yields of this district, if I force someone to work here and hover over it, it is at 1 food, 2 culture. So that would go up to 4, which is quite powerful compared to going up to 3 with this, which is more of a thing if you have like a taller city. I'm not sure, man, I'm not seeing the value of a mansion over a cabinet, except in extremely rare cases where you have like Pingala fully slotted in here. But almost every circumstance that I can see, you should go for a cabinet, which either means cabinet needs to be nerfed or mansion needs to be buffed, in my opinion. But yeah, we want to grab the cabinet. We want to grab the harbour. I also need spies. I'm gonna work on settlers though. This is the best city for me to build settlers from, and it's already highly built in infrastructure. So if I just crank out settlers here, 35 production, I can get them really quick. I can get a few more cities, get a little bit of extra tourism, use my faith to buy walls, do all that sort of stuff like medieval walls, Renaissance walls. The city's now fully built, and when we get the conservation, it'll start cranking out 6 tourism per turn. With the Petra finished, let's just... Yeah, I think I go cistern here. For the housing, the city is lacking a little bit of housing, and actually, the dam. Well, I could also go unlock military engineers. I have military engineers, okay. Maybe I need to buy a barracks? What was I going to put in here again? Artillery, armory, strategic. There's no strategic resources in here. Siege promotion class... City defense. Well, I kind of like the idea of turning this into a defensive city. So target range plus artillery battery appeals to me. But this will now allow me to get my military engineer, and I can use him to build these dams. So I'll actually work on the industrial zone. And we'll use our gold to purchase military engineers to help Whanganui, because that city has suffered building Petra for so long with such low production that it's going to need that help. I think those are like reasonable choices that I feel pretty good about. Boom, we have unlocked education, giving us access to both the university, which gives you bonus science equal to the base adjacency bonus of the campus district. So it's really, really good if you have a high adjacency campus. Or we can go ahead and take the academy, which has a baseline 2 science and also gives you extra science per promotion of the governor established in the city. I think I will probably go more in the academy route for my own city over here in Opango. The university isn't bad. I mean, this is +3 science, whereas this is like +9. If the adjacency bonus, if I was using the campus card and I was focusing on science, I would maybe go university route. But since I'm not using the adjacency bonus on my campuses, I'll just go for the academy in here. But I want to get the Maori first, because that represents just so much value for my civ, as well as allowing me to get closer to things like the cabinet and the mansion. Okay. We're not working coastal tiles in here, which is slightly unfortunate because I kind of would like to be. So I think we just go for the trade dock. Yeah, we go for the trade dock wharf to pick up the extra trade route in here. Trade routes hold incredible value, and I need a minimum of 6 trade routes to be even remotely fully complete. Let's evangelize. What weakness do I need covered, or what strength do I want reinforced? I kind of like the idea of papal primacy because I've been focusing a lot on doing these missions. So getting extra little chunks of religious pressure across the map really, really appeals to me. It's not something I would normally do, but it's definitely something worth doing. So they want me to recruit a great merchant. I could potentially do that, but Mali is in the game, so it's going to be hard. So great merchant is probably out. Eureka for printing is just building 2 universities or academies. That's not going to happen because I'm not building those. Trigger and inspiration for the Enlightenment is earning 3 great people, which I think could happen. Send a trade route. Send trade route. Construct an encampment. That could happen. Great scientist. Trade route. Construct a frigate. Now, building a frigate is possible. Otherwise, a lot of people just want like great scientists, trade routes, trigger Eureka for mass production. So I will build 1 lumber mill for the sake of mass production, because that is boosted by a lumber mill. That's worth an envoy to build a lumber mill, so I'll do it. Religious conversion, trade route, religious conversion. So the religious conversion thing might happen to some of these. because they're kind of like far out in the middle of nowhere. And like if I send an envoy to Venice, like boom, I just double converted it, right? I converted its religion, and I got an envoy for converting it. So bada bing, bada boom, that worked out really nice. And like the sake of Cahokia, I might be able to do the same thing in the near future when I get another envoy. So the papal primacy actually enables you to do those religious conversion missions from a distance, which is kind of cool. And now I have a little bastion of my religion down here, pumping out pressure. Not much pressure, I'll admit it. It's not much. But it is a non-zero amount of pressure on this section of the map. And if I can maybe do more missions, convert more city-states, it'll all work out. Actually, I'm going to build the lumber mill here. Oh, wow. Why is that 5 production? Unimproved woods and rainforest additional. Why is that 5? That can't be right. Is it? That shouldn't be 5 production. That number is too high for this civilization. Because 2 of my production was already coming. Plus 4 lumber mill? Because this should be one food, 1 production, right? 2 of this production is coming from my civ abilities, and when I build the lumber mill, 2 of that production should go away, but it's actually keeping it. That is so odd. Oh, that's really, really odd. We have access to the supply depot now, which is that's from Stirrups. That gives us a 25% combat strength boost for all, or combat experience boost for all heavy and light cavalry. Heavy and light cavalry get a free promotion. Increase healing by 10% in this campus district or any adjacent tiles. Okay, great for defense. And required for training medics and supply convoys. 2 production, 1 citizen slot, great general point, and plus 1 production. So very much so a sort of defensive supply area type encampment, which is kind of a neat idea. This shouldn't work this way, for sure. These yields need to like update or something, or else I'm crazy, because this is not how the Maori abilities work. Hang on, let me save and reload this game. I reloaded, but I guess these yields stay. I thought it was unimproved only. Passable feature. Unimproved woods and rainforest receive plus 1 production. Plus 1 production from mercantilism, plus 2 from conservation. Weird. Building unique to Maori, plus 1 culture fate to all the cities tiled with a passable feature and natural wonder. After flight is researched, cost no maintenance. I guess I can just go lumber mills? Oh man, I've been playing this wrong this whole time. Have I misunderstood the civ, or is this like the mod messing with me? I'm feeling like this is a mod thing that's like got me all jumbled. Looks like a wonder just went for someone. Anchor what was picked up? The Grey Shark clan was destroyed. There is the mausoleum at Halicarnassus, one of my favorite all-time wonders. What a great wonder. Absolute showstopper. Makes these coastal tiles incredible. And now my big priority is to get a builder in here and get those tiles improved. We'll look into some other stuff here in a bit. Oh, here's the thing I think I just discovered about this mod. Any builder can kind of act like a fairly weak military engineer and add a little bit of production to districts like the cistern, the dam, and the canal in this mod, which is a very interesting idea. I don't know if I like it, but it is at least a cool idea that I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt about. Right, let's swap the dam in here. We'll use the military engineer to add production, and then we'll swap it back. Let's start stealing gold from the Zulu. We just picked up colonialism, which gives us access to native conquest, colonial taxes, which might be useful this game. Raj is pretty okay. Admiralty Court is actually a new card. Extra yields from buildings in harbors. Plus 1 production if the city population is 15 or higher. Plus 1 food if the district has at least plus 5. Adjacency bonus. Interesting. So this is like tall coastal stuff. And then the regular old fishing boats get plus 1 production, which is always very nice. We got our monument in here. Let's work on... I mean, I should at least place the civic square to lock that price in. Who wanted... so Wolin wanted religious conversion. I might be able to make that happen. Let's see. I put an envoy into Wolin. Boosh. Double convert. Perfect. And I take suzerainty of it. Awesome. Now, Cahokia might be a harder sell. Actually, no, Cahokia is fine. We can do Cahokia as well. Boosh. Boom. We got all the suzerainties now. I really wish I had Kilwa, dude. Can you imagine if I had Kilwa with all these city-state envoys and relationships I have? It's devastating that I don't. Let's sell off our luxuries and buy up any spares. This quick deals mod is a literal godsend. I did all of my trading in split seconds there. It's amazing. So I guess I can just put lumber mills on these jungle tiles, which are these wood tiles, and not suffer. any downsides. And kind of interesting. I can faith purchase these buildings. Oh, yes. I definitely want the artillery battery because I want the city to be very, very well defended. Let's get a caravel. I think it would make sense to get a caravel or two. Just to be able to protect myself from the ocean. That's right. I'm at war with the ocean. Economic alliance with Norway works for me actually here. I'm 100% okay with that. New districts built by me will be culture bombs, please. I'll put 2 votes into that. And new trade routes. Who? I want the extra trade route. No, you know what? It's not worth it. I think I'll just sell my deal. I'll put 2 votes into myself. Maybe I'll win. Maybe I won't. Maybe some people will vote for me. Awesome. People voted for me, so I won anyway. And now I can just go ahead and sell all of my excess. Just excess, diplomatic favor. Just get rid of it all. Boom. Just took in a huge amount of gold. Settler. Just finished. I have a few cities that I need to get. I know it's very late into the game to be settling, but I still think it's worth. This city, what do I do in here? Well, I definitely want like a civic square. A lot of features here I could take advantage of. Let's buy the fishing dock. Boom, because that'll allow the city to grow and produce quite hard in here. And then we'll also get the granary to try to boost the city's population even higher. The more tiles we can work, the better off we will be in this city. And that's just a huge boon to me. More Maori are starting to finish. There's banking. I forgot to say, by the way, in the last episode when I was talking about the tourism ramp, one of the key components of the tourism ramp is actually flight. You need to be able to pick up flight in order to turn culture yields into tourism. It's a really, really important part. And then that leads to computers sort of naturally. They both follow along the same path. But mass production is on the agenda here. We'll take a look at that once we have done so. And we're back in Opango. This time we have finished the Maori. I'd like to start generating a little bit more great artist points. I'm quite a bit behind some of these guys. He's hitting 4.617, 16 for the Zulu. Yeah, I think I definitely need to get my great artist points up. So I'll go ahead and pick up the cabinet, I reckon, for the extra amenity. We'll pop that in there. Is there anything I can do about the housing in here? Orchard would give me a lot of extra housing. The Hammerworks is worth science though. We'll get the cabinet. It'll be fine. So builders can't help build dams. That's something I've just discovered. But they can help build aqueducts. Military engineers are 680 in this mod. All right. I think they're usually 580. So we shall keep fully abreast of that situation. I think I've more or less got most of the map explored now. I'm just missing a chunk of the Arabian Empire over here. I've got settlements all over the world. Although I still haven't fully settled my own home islands. It goes to show where my priorities have been this game. So over here in Taupiri, I really want a crossbowman to defend the city. Yeah, let's just go ahead and buy him. Trebuchet does the same job actually, but crossbowmen don't require strategic. So I'll shoot this boat and make it go away, and that way I can work on things like trade docks and fishing wharfs and all that good stuff. Speaking of, I have no idea what to do with this city. If you go to campus, no. Go to harbor, no. Might not be a bad idea to go for a cistern and an orchard in here to grow this city. Then again, a commercial hub and harbor combo seems like just generate me gold. Oh my sweet Christ. Alright, just never ever looking at that island ever again. This lad is now pillaging me. I don't love it. Quite upset about it. Great Admiral. Yeah, that should boost the Enlightenment, which should get me an envoy with Samarkand, who is currently being murdered. Great. That's exactly what we like to see. It's my favorite thing. Let's just buy a full set of walls in Kapiti. And then grab ourselves a couple of traders in here and get those trade routes going. This is an entrepot city, so the entrepot absolutely makes sense here because I'm going to have 3 trade routes running out of this location. And it's probably a good idea to get that infrastructure on the way sooner rather than later. Ooh, we got the trade dock in here. So that's an extra trade route, which I'm very happy about. Not working any coastal tiles, so probably just go for the Maori here to boost these forests. Oh, let's see here. Grants a free trader unit in this city. Trade route capacity increases by 1. Foreign trade routes to the city provide +2 gold to both cities. Well, I definitely want him over here in Farakara. Need another crossbowman over here. I need some like ranged defensive units to try and clear out barbs and stuff like that. Oh, somebody finally built a terracotta army. It was something I was maybe considering seeing if I could get. Fishing boat here was pillaged. That's fine. I can purchase an apostle. All these other... I never checked those alerts on the side of the screen, and I probably should. So taking a look at this city, definitely want a builder. Definitely want a Maori. And then from there, we'll make decisions. I'm probably going to just use my faith to buy these walls to save myself the production. Being able to convert faith into production is so useful. Yes, this could potentially be turned into tourism in the near future, but I prefer to just get the tourism now. This city actually has a cistern and a dam situation and a strategic resource here. So possibly also a good source of production late game, like this. So let's begin that process and start the industrial zone. But in the meantime, we'll just get some of this stuff placed, like the dam and the cistern. I know it's very hard for me to see a floodplained river and then not decide to put like an industrial zone on it. That's just hard for me to do as a player. It's something that's really satisfying to do, and I enjoy it. So why wouldn't I do it? Monument in here, purchased. Put your 15 turns into those ancient walls. I want to sort by gold, and in particular, I'm looking for trade routes with people I don't already have trade routes with. So right now, I'm trading with the Inca. Did he capture Bologna? Oh, never mind. I don't know why this is under the wrong thing. Diplomatic visibility increased with who? My own civ? What? Yeah, let's trade with Ulundi. Boom. Now we're getting the tourism boost for that. And then we want to trade with, I mean, theoretically, we could almost hit all of the civs. But I want to trade with Arabia. So I'll hit Damietta, even if it's not a very good trade route. The important thing is that it is a trade route to Saladin, giving me the all-important tourism bonus. We have a golden age secured, and we have a couple of barbs running around being annoying. Not a big deal, though. Settler get. Send this one down to Horse Island that I've got over here. I definitely want another settler or two. So I'll keep just producing those settlers to be sent down to colonize the world. Fishing dock. Would like a fishing dock here. More than anything, though, I need like a defensive unit, like a quadrireme. Protect the ocean here, then work on a fishing dock. Boom. Free trader, who we will immediately send to... So we're trading with Inca, Arabia, and Zulu. So any trade route with like Norway works here. 19 production, 19 gold. Now, if there's any bad dudes over here in this water, I'll send a quadrireme to check it out and see if we can find them. We're going to cancel the ancient walls in here, harvest this forest. That will speed up how quickly we get this industrial zone. Settling new cities is tough late game. It feels like you just need to settle early. But there's a huge opportunity cost to settling early. Like, you just leave yourself so open to war. But having more cities is better. I don't know if delayed settler strategies actually work. I think really the game feels like it rewards you so hard for just going and getting your settlers, as many of them as possible, as early as possible. So there is mass production, giving us access to the workshop, which gives you +1 production per promotion of a governor established in the city. Again, another tall style building. It also gives +1 production to domestic trade routes, +1 production, +1 citizen slot, and +1 great engineer point per turn, +1 citizen yield. And then the alternative is the manufactory, which gives you the same production boost, but instead gives you 2 citizen slots. Man, both of these kind of feel like tall buildings, but they do it in different ways. This one's more like if you have a ton of governor titles, go for it. Whereas this one's more like if you have a ton of population, go for this, or you're feeding the city. We also have access to the shipyard, which we've talked about a couple of times. And I will be building shipyards in some of my cities to get that production up. I am an addict for production. Build an entrepot. I could actually do that for square rigging. Manufactories are going to be a little bit harder because none of my industrial zones are actually done yet. I am close. Oh, hey, we can finally build watermills and windmills. Let's just go over here to Kapiti and we'll go ahead and buy the entrepot because that represents a huge boost to our gold. If I refresh this UI here, you can see the entrepot is giving us 9 gold because we have 3 international trade routes here, which is not bad, as far as I can tell. Is that really all it's giving us? Huh, interesting. I feel like I should be getting more from that, but whatever. We got the entrepot in here. Soon we'll be able to build the water park. We should actually be really, really close to that, in fact. Oh, it's made available here at the Pleasure Pier, which gives us the... Oh, I need to get exploration. Well, that kind of changes my plans. Pleasure Pier gives you gold adjacency from government plaza, civic squares, harbors, reefs, seaside resorts, wonders, golf courses, unique improvements, basically. Tourism is converted into gold. The marina... Oh, wow. Okay, that's the tier 0 or tier 1 building for this. It gives +1 amenity for every fishing boat improvement adjacent to this district, +1 culture to each fishing boat tile in the city, and +1 tourism for every fishing boat improvement. This is insane. I need to get marinas immediately across my empire. That's so much tourism. I need to like rethink how I'm going to place these, because now I'm thinking, oh yes, where is this? Pleasure Pier goes here. It gets boosted from the Wonder. The Marina boosts this Pearls resource, gets boosted by the Pearls. This completely changes how I want to play the game. Now that I discovered that. This is what I'm talking about. When you're playing with a mod, sometimes you don't know what the realm of possibility is. And so you have to kind of wiggle your way around the world and figure things out. For sure, though, I am putting a pleasure pier in every city that is possible to put things in, adjacent to as many fishing boat resources as humanly possible. Because holy crap, that is a powerful, powerful, powerful building. I'm just going to buy a quad in here as well. Quads are like cheap range units. They can do the job. Place the civic square right there, but I'll work on the harbor. I'm going to buy ancient walls in here so the cities can shoot as well, because I'm tired of this spearman wrecking my stuff. I'm loving this mod though. I'm learning new possibilities. I'm getting ideas for, you know, possibly designing other mods. It's always a pleasure to play a really well built, really fleshed out mod. And the only problem is Civ is a very, very complicated game. A lot of people say Civ is like simple, it's dumb, but like it actually takes a lot of brain power because there's so many associations you have to make. You know, in Civ 5, what do? You build buildings in one place, but in Civ 6, the positioning of your buildings matters, which is kind of crazy. My spy leveled up. I stole 1,000 gold. Let's get Ace Driver. I really do need to actually get my other spies to the point where it's so important that I'm going to like divert production away from other important things. Like I really want that Entrepot, but actually spy time is one of the most valuable things in the game. And spy time is basically just how long a spy is alive and active and doing things. You could basically think of spies as like Uber trade routes. You want to get them as soon as you can. Not if you're playing like I do, because I almost always forget to get my trade routes on time. Nice. There's mercenaries. Nothing special about this. Basically vanilla. Who else wanted religious conversion? I think there was a few of them in here. Kumasi wanted religious conversion. Now that might take a little bit longer, but we can start that process here. Somebody wanted a frigate. I will actually be able to get a frigate for an envoy mission, so that won't be a problem. Finally shot that spearman and killed him. He's gone now. Been sitting there annoying me for turns upon turns upon turns. He's getting in my way and pillaging my stuff. Alright, boom. Now we have access to the pleasure pier, like we were talking about. Merchant Republic doesn't look any different, so I don't think we actually need to change to it. I kind of like being theocratic. Yeah, I like theocracy. Theocracy rocks, in my opinion. Let's get natural history. This will give us access to the museum, which is a tier 3 building for the theater square now. We'll also have access to the zoo, the aquarium, and the botanical garden. Okay, we'll have a look at these when we roll over, and we can actually take a moment to examine these. We just built our cabinet, so that's a ton of extra culture amenities and stuff like that in this city. Very, very cool. Let's pick our next move. I feel like wait, didn't I just unlock pleasure piers? Where are they on the list? Am I blind? The city already has a fairground. Right, yes, I am blind and dumb and deaf. Let's build the bathhouse in here. Extra faith is cool. Culture, amenities, citizen slots, culture, faith, extra power. Awesome. Let's go. I mean, the hammer works is cool, but F that. All right, settler, make it happen. On you go. Is this really the best spot for the harbor? Do I maybe move the harbor to here instead? That makes a little bit more sense to me. Does industrial zone make sense in here? Kind of. It's like a little science outpost. Let's buy the monument, the granary, and the fishing wharf in here. That gives the city a nice kickstart. It'll accelerate pretty well. Otherwise, we'll let it just kind of chip away. All right, boom. There is natural history. This gives us access to the Museum of Archaeology, which holds artifacts. It gives +3 culture to all antiquity sites and shipwrecks in the city. Now, I'm curious. Antiquity sites. I wonder if that converts into tourism. But that's an interesting idea that they do that. It doesn't say that it allows you to build archaeologists, but I'm going to assume that it does. The Museum of Archaeology does. The Museum of Arts, I think, was unlocked here. We've got the Opera House. Oh, wow, okay. There's some interesting stuff going on here. Grand Hotel. Where is the casino? Oh, here's the Museum of Arts. So this is the mutually exclusive option, and it's basically the same thing. A little bit of culture, great artist points, and room for great work of art slots. We have the Opera House, which is kind of interesting. It's like another tier. I don't know which tier these things are, but the Opera House, +1 culture from each great work in this city, +1 culture, an amenity, a citizen slot, musician writer points, musician points, room for great writers, room for great music, extra culture from your citizens. Got the Grand Hotel. Yields from this civic square are +1 in tiles with charming appeal, +2 in breathtaking, grants tourism to the civic square equal to its adjacency bonus. Oh wow, that's really, really powerful. I like this. +1 loyalty pressure to the city, no city within 9 tiles. So this is, wow, this is actually, holy crap, this is a cool building. It doesn't give you any culture on its own, but it does give you a citizen slot and some great people points, and it holds a great work slot of any type. So that would definitely be something I would build in if I got in cities with high adjacency. So for example, I would say maybe anything with like a 3 to 4 or higher I would start considering, and anything lower I would maybe build the other thing. But that is so cool that you can convert, it gives you a way to convert your cultural adjacency bonus into tourism. Awesome. That really encourages optimized play with regards to adjacency. I love all of the mechanics that they put into this. Super, super great. Really, really cool. Really flavorful. Adds a ton of texture to how you play the game and how you should plan. It does add a lot of knowledge burden and can make you maybe feel a bit like you're missing out on some benefits because you're maybe not playing as optimally because you're not a really, really good player. But that is kind of like the sacrifice you make when you're making an interesting game system, is that new or weaker players will just feel a little bit, you know, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? They'll just feel like it's a bit opaque and difficult, which is fair enough. Sometimes systems are opaque and a little bit difficult. That's normal. 9 turns until the next era, and I'm very, very close to having conservation, so I'm glad that I've saved a good few builder charges. Oh yeah, I should totally be making sure I have open borders. I'm gonna go through and make sure I do that with everyone. Yeah, I think I have open borders with everyone. If I check, yeah, everyone's borders are kind of. Oh, Mali, the only one I didn't have open borders with. Thank you for the trade deal. I don't know what is going on over here, but this is insanity. Jesus Christ. You got Voichiens here. Okay, I'm just going to try hard not to look. I'm going to try to not look at that part of the map too hard. We have access to square rigging, which means we can get frigates, and I believe one of the city-states in the game wanted me to get a frigate as a mission, and it was, in fact, Nagasagarmu, which means we should have gotten a tiny... Oh, really? Wow. I thought I would get religious pressure for completing that mission, but that only happens when you actually place an envoy. Interesting. Right. We have now got to start thinking about industrialization. I'd like to get the Ruhr Valley here, so I'm going to see if I can go for it. 25% combat experience for all naval units trained in the city. Yes, I think we go for... Actually, no. I think we grab the cabinet here. City won't be using its coastline for a while. Although, then again, the shipyard is disgusting in here. So I might just build a fishing dock and then see if I can buy the shipyard. It's probably about time in the game that I should buy shipyards, to be honest. This is usually about when I would have been doing it for a while already, actually. Kind of just forgot about that as an option. I got distracted by all the shiny things you can do in the mod. Like, for example, buy this whale tile. And then boosh, culture bomb. Look at that. 4 food, 4 production, 4 gold. That is the beauty of a good coastal setup. Right, we got the bathhouse in Opango, which should result in a nice boost to all sorts of different yields, particularly culture. I guess I can't actually build this because I already built the fairground. It would be nice to get my archaeologists out now. It's a way to convert my production into tourism directly, so that's something I usually prioritize. We have a privateer here. Privateers are a little bit strong. I'm going to pop in here and upgrade to a frigate. Frigates should be able to take on privateers in theory, as long as they get the first shot or whatever. It's usually fine. Renaissance era ends in 6 turns with the Maori on the way. Good. Nice tiles in here. Definitely going to want builders across my empire now. I feel like that's going to become a major concern. However, this museum of archaeology, wow, it's actually cheaper than both of these buildings. That's kind of mad to me. Get the preserve placed in Kapiti. And since national parks are going to be going up very soon, I'm going to prioritize that. I want those sick ass yields, and I also want the culture bomb to happen. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. The preserve is now jumping up my priority list quite highly, since we're so close to conservation. I love being able to spend gold fairly willy-nilly on buying like fishing tiles and stuff like that. Having a strong gold income really makes the game just feel a lot better because you can just buy whatever you need. You can shore up your weaknesses very easily. Oh, you're like, oh, I forgot to get a builder. Boom, buy one, done, sorted, no more problems. Renaissance era is over in 5 turns. Got the Mare and Kaya. Pop down that harbor. Is that what we want? Do we want that harbor now? Actually, now that I'm thinking about things, we're gonna want like 2-3 builders in here, to be honest. So that's got to be the priority. And speaking of building things, let's get that military engineer to finish up this dam and the aqueduct. The damqueduct. I'm just buying simple infrastructure like granaries. It's not worth my time to build them anymore. This is would be an amazing place. Actually, here is a disgustingly good pleasure pier. So let's get right into the news. We'll go for the cistern 2 in here. But builder is going to be big. And eventually I think we will put a civic square here too. So that city's pretty well designed. My quarries haven't been upgraded in a very long time. They just have been +1 production or whatever they are for ages. Right. 976 gold. Easy peasy. My spy has leveled up. I like disrupt rocketry myself. Although maybe less time to establish would have been quite good. Where is that spy that I ordered? Okay, he's 1 turn away. Right. I was wondering where he was. I know earlier on in this episode, I was like, I'm going to build a spy. And then many turns later, the spy still hasn't shown up. I'm like, where is that spy? Okay, cool. We got the settler in my capital. We're kind of settling out our last few cities now. How many more settlers do I really want? Is it worth... I guess it is theoretically worth it with the pleasure pier to settle these cities. Because even the marina... +1 tourism for every fishing boat. That's actually a decent chunk of tourism. We look at the aquarium or casino. Let's see. Pleasure peel. Bonus amenities extend to each city center within 6 tiles. The bonus applies once to a city. Multiple copies do not stack. +1 gold from every commercial hub, harbor, aerodrome in the city. +1 tourism for each wonder built in the city on or adjacent to coast. +1 amenity, +1 citizen slot. Versus the aquarium. Bonus amenities extend. +1 science to every coastal, resource, shipwreck, and reef tile in the city. +1 these little coastal islands are 100% worth settling. I'm going to settle this island. I'll put a harbor. Let me find the best place. There's the best place for a harbor. And then the best place for a pier is right there. Hell yeah, dude. This is great stuff here. So what's better, a pleasure pier here or a pleasure pier here? No, not there. There. This is technically +1 adjacency. This has the boat advantage, though. I think I'll go for the +1 adjacency. Oh, God, the potential. The potential in this game is incredible. Fishing dock available. Let's go ahead and purchase the shipyard, because that is a stupid amount of production. 6 production in this city. And now these harbor specialists, I think they're worth 3 food, 2 production, and 2 gold, which is almost like a tile, like a workable tile. Okay, I'm getting some UI buggery. I'm getting UI bugs. Okay, listen, I love you all very much. I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.